booming of platforms on wealth. There is so much increased competition. Some of them are offering, no platform fee. Some of them are saying 100% failure fee rebate, and then some say zero commission, etc. There are a lot of. Is the wealth platform proposition going down to zero?
Okay, good question again, right? I mean, this has been the hot topic for the last 2-3 years, right? And we already know the kind of players that have made it big.
Yep.
Between 2020 April and 2021 December, and we've also kind of seen what has happened to some of those players between 2022 Jan and now, right? So it's a double-edged sword, right? So I want to take you back to what I said when we just started this conversation.
Yep.
I think the way I look at my role is somebody who can balance delivering value for my customers,
yes,
and delivering value for my franchise,
right,
and my stakeholders, right? So in that continuum, it is just not delivering value for one party, right? It has to be a win-win for everybody in the ecosystem, right? So everybody in the ecosystem kind of benefits in the medium long term, right? Now this race to net zero, okay, is good from a sustainability perspective, but I don't know whether it's so good from a business perspective,
yeah,
right? And I can tell you that the platform fee model, right, kind of really tilts in the favor of the platform provider if your investment horizons are longer. Like for example, we as OCBC, for example, unit trust, right? We just charge you once,
yep,
at the time of buying.
right.
So assume you hold that unit trust for the next 20 years,
right,
or next 5 years, right? You've just paid once,
yeah,
and you don't pay anything more, right? But if you go on to a platform fee charging model, you basically paying for the same investment that you did on year one for the next 20 years, some kind of a fee, right?
yes.
So it really depends on if you have a long-term view of your investments, if you're really looking at planning for your retirement, for example, which is a marathon, 10, 15, 20 years. And I'd like to take this opportunity to the people who are listening to us to really look at wealth accumulation as a marathon rather than a sprint. Because what is happening in the recent times with the kind of volatility that we've seen in the markets is, 2020 and 2021 were so easy years to make money.
Yeah.
So these are exceptions, right? So while I don't disagree that there is a recency factor that influences all of us, I think it is important for us to recognize that wealth accumulation is a journey. It is a marathon that you run over 5, 10, 15 years. And I can tell you, when you run a marathon over 5, 10, 15 years, accumulating your wealth, you would come out so much better than if you're focused on 1, 2, 3 months.
Yeah.
Right? So now coming back to answering your question, I think it really depends on your time horizon. If you have a much longer time horizon, which should be the case, right? Paying one time is much more beneficial to you from a cost perspective, than trying to pay over every time over the next 5, 10 years.
Oh no, absolutely.